Introduction from the author. In 2014, I was finally diagnosed with the debilitating condition of rheumatoid arthritis. The diagnosis took a long time coming, as did any form of medication to counter the condition, and as a result, I spent 8 months of my life near enough on the sofa at home. I could not walk without crying. My knees and ankles were so badly swollen, I could barely get my jeans on, and I had no chance of getting any shoes on, and I was forced to wear slippers. It is an all too familiar situation for those people unfortunate to suffer from the disease. During this 8-month period, when I was existing on concoctions of steroids and painkillers, I read every single article I could find on rheumatoid arthritis. Although the final diagnosis took a long time in coming, every medical practitioner I saw and every nurse was fairly sure that I did indeed have RA. During this time it became painfully obvious to me, apologies for the pun, that I was suffering from a Western condition brought about by my diet. If you had asked me about my diet before I was diagnosed with RA, I would have told you I had a pretty healthy diet, plenty of fish, loved my smoothies and juices, but I also loved cakes, takeaway, and eating out. So, although I did have plenty of healthy food, I was also having plenty of unhealthy food, or at least enough to tip the scales in favor of RA. The more I read, the more I had to question what on earth was going on. It seems that the first recorded cases of RA in Africa was in the 1960s, even though the disease had been found in Europe and recognized since the late 1800s. And that was another thing. It's a new disease. Where did it come from? What was causing it? It is also virtually unknown, it appears, in countries like South America and Asia. And this made me start to wonder, what made me so different from the people in those countries? The answer was, of course, very simple: diet. Post my diagnosis, I was on a fairly awful set of drugs. Methotrexate was one of these. I believe this drug is one that they use in chemotherapy. I would take this, along with a few other drugs, on Monday, and I cannot begin to describe how tired it made me feel. I was dogged with a lethargy I just could not shake until about Thursday or Friday, when finally I felt a little more alive and motivated. And then all too soon again it was Monday, and I would be back at the bottom again. Along with the tiredness were other unpleasant side effects like constant headaches and mouth ulcers. The steroids I had been taking had the unwanted side effect of making me have an overactive appetite. That, coupled with the inactivity of sitting on the sofa, soon saw the pounds pile on. My plan became very clear. I wanted to basically feel better, regain control of my life, and reduce the medication I was taking. I am not at all advocating you throw away your meds and take the meal plans that follow as a miracle cure for RA. However, I've found that I now have a near enough normal life. My joints have been damaged permanently by the disease, and there's little I can do about that. However, the tiredness is a thing of the past. I'm full of energy, back at work, loving the gym, and on vastly reduced medication. I put all of this down to the change in my diet and taking time to think about my food choices. Slip-ups do occur. I love a takeaway curry, and from time to time I will have one, and boy do I know about it the following day. That in itself, however, is enough to remind me what life would be like every day if I ate those kind of foods again too regularly, and it puts me back on the straight and narrow. This book will also help you understand how the immune system and its inflammatory mechanism work. The immune system is a vital part of the body that helps to protect us from injury and disease, but sometimes it goes haywire and creates problems instead, such as in the case of rheumatoid arthritis. Fortunately, there are many remedies available, and an anti-inflammatory diet is one of them. Read on to find out how you can adopt an anti-inflammatory diet. Know what foods to avoid because they can cause inflammation, and what foods to eat more of to reduce the symptoms of inflammation. I wish you all the best of luck and hope you can enjoy some of the health benefits I myself have from embracing some new and healthy eating habits. Ross Lennox.